we go. All right. We're still working out some kinks here on the LNC Convention Weekly Update. This is our soft launch, but I'm here with Pat Ford. I'm Brian McWilliams, Communications Director for the LNC, and I'm here with Pat Ford, who is the chair of the upcoming 2026 National Convention for Libertarianism. Pat, how's it going? Tell people where you're at, by the way, what you just came from. I think they'll find that interesting.
Yeah, I'm right now at the Rhode Island State House. I just came from, in my day job, I do hard news and as a reporter, and I was covering a Charlie Kirk observance conducted by the local affiliate of Turning Point USA, who was well attended. Rhode Island's a very, very democratic state. There were somewhere between 200 to 300 people, a candlelit, if you will, observance from a telephonic status. So folks had their candle app running in front of the State House, and it was very moving, and it was religious in nature. So an interesting backdrop. And again, I cover a wide range of events, protests, riots, press conferences. That's what I do. I'm in the belly of the beast, if you're a libertarian. But we're here tonight, and again, this is our soft opening, so we're going to work out the tech. Folks may remember back a few years ago, we did a weekly show, where we interviewed candidates, and this is going to be the same theme, except we're going to be focusing exclusively on the upcoming Libertarian National Convention in Grand Rapids. And I'm excited, and we're going to share weekly updates, new speakers, new events. We're looking for your input. Folks should reach out to me. Starting next week, I'm going to announce a dedicated text line for the convention. So if people have questions or issues or concerns or suggestions, this is a team effort. Going into this, I had a few objectives for the Convention Oversight Committee. Number one, I wanted to put together an all-star committee, and we do. We have people like Steve Dosbach, Betty Rose Ryan. We have folks from virtually every movement within the party. We've got a lot of lived experience here and a lot of fresh young ideas. So we're looking forward to that. Our second objective, which we met last week at the LNC meeting, the 2028 convention is going to be held President's Day weekend in February. Big change. That's going to be a big move. As the year goes on and we get closer to Grand Rapids, we'll be talking about site selection and some of the issues surrounding what many are concerned about, and that's a winter convention. But at the same time, they're excited about the notion that we're going to get 3 extra months to campaign for our outstanding presidential and vice presidential candidates. And then I really wanted to fire up I'll call it the outside of convention experience. What do I mean by that? We've got generations of outstanding folks who've done incredible work, highly organized conventions at cities across the nation. I've always wanted to do more, though. I wanted to take it the next step. So at the convention center, and again, go to lnc2026.com, you'll see our convention layout. You'll see an elaborate floor outside for organizations, corporations, people doing work in the convention and the election space who are going to be able to exhibit. We've got 85 exhibit spaces available to us, and we've already sold about 15 of them. So things are already starting to move. You'll see links to upgraded rooms. That's an important fundraiser for the party. You'll see links to the hotels themselves. And on that note, it's important that people jump on their reservations. There's an element of first come, first serve to this. And we've got everything right now in terms of where to stay and what to see lined up on the website. Our next step is going to be in the coming weeks. We're going to be adding speakers and packages to it. And by the way, as you help me out with this, we have an exciting announcement if you haven't heard yet. There are a number of areas within the libertarian movement that we want to emphasize. The primary mission of this convention, I want to stress, is going to be electing new officers, working on our bylaws, and working on our platform. Those are the 3 reasons why we're in Michigan. But at the same time, it's an opportunity for all of us to come here together and hear speakers of virtually every aspect of the libertarian movement. And if you're in New England like I am, food sovereignty, homesteading, and all the issues surrounding it are critical. And as I go across the Midwest into the Mountain West and the Northwest, down in the Southeast, the Southwest, there are pockets of folks doing incredible work. All right, not just preppers, not just survivalists, but people who are creating a real sense of autonomy and independence. And that's at the heart of the libertarian movement. So a gentleman by the name of Joel Salatin, and anyone in the homesteading movement knows him. He's been very active with the Kennedy people. He's a partner, if you will, in a lot of efforts with Thomas Massie. He's going to be one of our keynote speakers. We'll have keynote speakers on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just after lunch, and he'll be on Sunday. He'll also be spearheading a breakout session, a separate breakout session with other folks in the food autonomy, food sovereignty movement. So he runs an organization called Polyface Farms. We sent out an announcement today to the membership. I believe we've got some information up on the website about that as well. But it's going to be an exciting conference. He is considered one of the spiritual leaders of self-sufficiency, food sovereignty. And we'll have him right there at the convention with an opportunity for you to meet him and engage with him as well. And I see this as an important step because I just this past weekend, I was in Swansea, New Hampshire at the Homesteaders of New England event. And I was there for a few reasons. Number one, I wanted to, that's in my region. I'm the rep for Region 6, the Northeast, New York and New Jersey. And I wanted to get an opportunity to meet a lot of small L libertarians, people who are libertarian in lifestyle, but might not be members of the party yet. And I say yet, because we had a lot of great conversations there. So it's an opportunity for us to engage with them at the same time, bring us up to speed so we can reach out to homesteaders around the nation and tell them that spiritually the Libertarian Party has always been their home and we need them to join us. But Brian, what are your thoughts going into the next few months?
Well, Pat, it's interesting. So, we're talking about the speaker selection, and you and I had some conversations leading into this, basically saying, your idea about making this into a functional, I think, convention. We're getting things done. Of course, the bylaws, yes, the officers, yes, but making it into something that people can come and actually get a functional education, get, not just going and seeing the same people say the same things. And yeah, it's, rah, feel good, but actually having opportunity to learn, and inspiration is good, right? We both agree inspiration is great. We need to keep people on the front foot of inspiration. And in the Libertarian Party, you can obviously get burned out because we look at the world around us burning. But what I love about Joel and what I love about some of the other people that we've discussed is, as you mentioned, he's going to come in, do the breakout sessions, and people can actually find out how to take tangible steps to move things forward. So it's not just a feel-good session. It is a functional convention. And I think that also bleeds into some of the other things that we had discussed, which is, the specific section that you've created for crypto. And right. for allowing people, so there's an entire section, and Pat can fill you guys in a little bit more on this, but there's an entire section that is going to be designated on the convention floor where people can get booths and special speaker area for them, focusing on crypto because it's so central to what we believe in, so central to the decentralization of money, to getting alternative currencies and alternative ways to working around the government fiat system. And it's going to be the key to so much moving forward in the future. So Pat, you want to tell people a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got an entire section in the hall, and you'll see it on the map. That's going to be dedicated to. We're talking to a number of people in the crypto space. What's going to be important about this is, as an aside, I recently went to Freedom Fest. Great organization, great event. I got to see Ross make his, if you will, reintroduction speech. It was an incredibly moving event, but I learned a lot. And the Freedom Fest people know how to put on an event. And the takeaway from that was we needed a live space there. So in that space, if crypto agencies are interested in renting space on that, there will be a small stage. There will be a dedicated internet feed so that folks can do X Spaces or Facebook Lives or a variety of live streams out to the world. And the primary focus in that space, and by the way, we can do this elsewhere. It's an incredible convention center. It's the technology there is fabulous. I've been out there, I think, 2 or 3 times at this point. And we want to bring that sort of virtual feel out to the masses who can't make the convention. And we want to take this moment where all of us are together. Again, we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,100, 1,200 plus libertarian leaders from around the country. And it's time we shared our mission proactively. It's time we aggressively put out there what's happening. And it's an incredible opportunity because there's so many of us who have to deal, well, like Brian and I are dealing right now, with great technology, but we're thousands of, we're about as far away as we can get from each other and still be in the United States. And we're having a great conversation. But imagine the feeling, the spiritual feeling folks will get as libertarians when we're in the same room. And to that end, I'm exacting a promise from our speakers. Uh, I'm not interested in what I call libertarian graduation speeches. I'm not interested in people coming in and tell us how great we are and that we're on the vanguard of freedom. And, you know, as Charlie Brown would say, wah, 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 wah. I want a revival tent like feeling to this. I want people, when they leave Grand Rapids, to be excited about going back to their affiliates, going back to their homes, going back to their local challenges, and take the decentralization mission of the Libertarian Party to the next level. So everything we're going to be doing that week is going to be focused on delivering that message, teaching that message, and so that people can bring that message home. And that's why I'm excited. My other theme is get excited because it's a nice city. There's a lot of walkable attractions and restaurants within 2 or 3 blocks. We're working closely with the Grand Rapids, Michigan Convention and Visitors Bureau, who have already negotiated for attendees discounts at area restaurants and attractions. We're going to see if we can take that even a little further because we're also concerned about the cost of this to our membership. Rooms right now, our reserve room rate is between $139 and $142 a night, which in today's market is incredible. And these are 4 beautiful hotels. We've got 2 Marriott properties, a Hyatt, and the Hilton that are honoring very special rates. So getting back to my other theme, dive in now. Reserve your rooms. If you're thinking about bringing a business or a product or a message that you want to exhibit to libertarians from around the country in one place, a captive audience, right? We're going to be all in that same building for 4 days. Yes, it's a 4-day convention. Now is the time to start planning it. And the Convention Oversight Committee is here to help. I'm here to facilitate. We've all been to conventions, by the way, where if you take the time and make the investment in a table or a booth, you find yourself in a convention hall. Well, we're doing it a little differently. We bright, airy spaces with natural sunlight that literally surround the convention hall, so that everyone, when they leave, will have to walk through your vendor area. And to that notion too, and folks will get a kick out of this, in the morning in the vendor area, we will have a coffee set up. So for people who are on the run, who want to grab a cup of coffee and maybe a pastry. During the afternoon into the early evening, yes, there will be a cash bar there for folks to share a cocktail. And I've told that libertarians are put the party back in political party. I may have been to a few events over the last couple of decades, but yeah, it's going to be there. So plenty of places to meet, plenty of places to have meetings. There's work to be done on the convention floor that is deadly serious. Yet at the same time, right outside that floor is all sorts of educational opportunities, all sorts of products related to elections, related to campaigns. And the other message I want to share is the fact that this is a 4-day convention. And that was the decision we made carefully. We understand that represents an extra night for folks. But we also know, based on recent history, how difficult it's been to get convention business done within a 3-day period. We will be electing officers, which, has a propensity to get, well, there's a certain energy in the room. I think we can all agree on that. But at the same time, we want to give enough time to thoroughly hear the products of the bylaws and the platform committees. We haven't been able to do that in the last couple of years in 3-day conventions. This will give us that little extra space. The convention will gavel in at 10:30 Friday morning. And I did that purposely, Brian, for all the people whose flights get in at 6, but actually end up getting in at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I just can't, I won't do that. Well, I'm going to be there all night anyway, but I can't do that to you folks. I can't have you get in at some crazy hour, throw yourself on your bed, and then get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to try and grab some chaotic breakfast. I can't do that to you. So 10:30 Friday morning, and we're going to go until we technically have the space all day on Monday, but we expect it will go to about mid to late afternoon on Monday. Again, an extra day, but it allows us more freedom in approaching the serious work of the party, as well as engaging more speakers and more breakout sessions. Um, Breakout sessions. We've got 6 potential rooms for breakout sessions. They're modular, so we can increase and decrease the size at any one time. We're going to be announcing some fantastic training, a little bit different than the usual campaign training. It's leadership training. It's training aimed at getting volunteers for your organization. Issues like that, which are pervasive around libertarian affiliates everywhere, everywhere. And so we're going to have training, but it's going to be a little bit twist on it. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be with some partners that you've seen before who do amazing jobs. And we're going to make that available both in the morning and at lunchtime during breakout sessions. And they'll be reasonably priced so that if affiliates want to sponsor their folks to go to these, they'll be able to do so. And they'll be able to have a nice breakfast and a lunch in a sit down environment at the same time. So we're shooting for the moon here, buddy. We've got our reach goals. I will say,
just the 4-day convention. I know a lot of people heard 4-day convention, like we're saying, they go, "Oh, another day." But I do think about the practical impacts of that and how. Look, we all know things get contentious at conventions, and I do wonder if a little bit more time and a little less, sardine can. You're all in the same room for hours upon hours upon hours trying to get this done. Because, that's when people get tired. That's when people get angry. That's when people get hungry. That's when people miss everything that they're trying to do at the convention. So having that extra time actually might keep things just a little bit more cordial, if we're being perfectly honest. I mean, right. maybe I'm hoping a little bit too much, but I do think that having that extra time allows a little bit more freedom to keep things calmer, keep sessions a little bit shorter since you have the extra day to work at it, and hopefully it'll keep everybody a little bit more under wraps as far as emotions and rest and anger and hunger go.
And by the way, I'm proud of the fact that unlike the duopoly, we take our platforms and our bylaws very seriously. They are a direct reflection of all of us. We mean it. Years ago, if you're of a certain age, if you're a boomer, you may remember black and white conventions and early color conventions, which were, you'd see the arguments, you'd see the passion, and then gradually those faded to the background. And I remember one Democratic convention in particular where there was a mention of God that was taken out, where all heck broke loose. And after that, they were never seen on TV again. And it reminds me, if you're a movie buff on the Academy Awards, when you hear the special effects were held at a restaurant somewhere in downtown Pasadena during the week, well, we're never going to be that. There are folks, and I give all the credit in the world to them, who are going to spend countless hours finessing our bylaws, examining our bylaws, putting them under a microscope. Clearly the events of the last few years, regardless of where you stand, bring home the fact that we need to focus on our bylaws. And the same folks are often passionate about our platform because this is a platform they take home. And it means the world to them. And that's why we're libertarians. Yeah, we're not like the other guys. By the way, they're as contentious and fractious and full of chaos as anybody else. They just don't wear it on their sleeves like we do. We're willing to, because it's so important, leave some of our laundry out there to dry. You know what? I as crazy as it can get sometimes, I don't think I'd ever change a thing. That's why I love this party, and that's why I'm looking forward to this convention. So,
yeah, absolutely,
Brian, I hope folks will join us. Like I said, this was our soft opening to test the tech. Well, I'll be in a little better situation. I don't usually get Friday night news, but we don't often have events like we've had tragically this week. And as libertarians, I know my other mission that I haven't talked about yet, that's really going to be the focus for me of this convention, is to get libertarians out of their homes, into the streets, carrying the torch for our issues, and just getting to work. And that's what I hope people take away from this when it's all said and done. They're on fire, and they're ready to go to work, and they're ready to save this country, and they're ready to save what we hold dear. That's personal freedom. So, listen, I want to thank you for all the effort you put into this, the time you've spent with me in terms of going over speakers. We got a long way to go, but that's the fun part of it. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got a lot of announcements to come up, and I hope folks will spread the word. And again, I want to stress, we want to hear from you. I'm all over social media. You can reach me on the list. And starting next week, I will have a dedicated text line for folks with convention issues, whether it be something as simple as hotel reservations, which sometimes can be not so simple, um, questions about the city, special circumstances, mobility issues, access issues. It's our job as a committee to make this work for the membership. And it's an opportunity to put our party, well, on display. I can't wait, buddy.
Yeah, neither can I. And just to tell everybody, so we're going to try, as you said, this is our soft launch. So we're still working on a little, some of the kinks out as far as getting things. It's going to look a little prettier as we go along here. But we are going to try to do this. Ideally, we'll try to do some weekly updates and get in some speakers that might be appearing at our convention. But we will try to do as often as we can and keep you guys posted as to who's going, what's going, when's going, all the good things, because there's going to be a lot of announcements coming forward. So, Pat, thank you for all your hard work on this.
Let me throw in one more thing. I can't help myself, but briefly, if you're going to be speaking or if you're going to be an exhibitor at the convention, we want to hear from you soon. We want you to get a sense soon because we also want to take the time via this show, via the weekly emails that are going to go out, to get people acquainted with your organization, your cause, your moment in the Libertarian Party, whatever it is that you're trying to bring to Grand Rapids. We want to actually put that on display ahead of time so that when people show up at Grand Rapids, they're already a little bit familiar with your product. They've had an opportunity to hear you as a guest on this show and really get the spotlight that you deserve. We're grateful for the vendors and the supporters of this event. We need you. We're partners in this, and we feel it's important that we do everything that we can to showcase what you're bringing to the convention. Thank you.
No, thanks a lot. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Again, tune in. Go visit LNC2026.com. You can get your room reservations. You can book your booths and much, much more. Stay tuned there for all the updates. From me, from Pat, from the convention, have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you soon.